Hello, screenwriters, and welcome to Writing for Screens, the Screenwriting Step-by-Step Project, episode 92. My name is Glenn Gers, and I am here every Monday through Friday, if I can be, at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live, writing a drama TV pilot script, letting you look over my shoulder as I do it, trying to explain what my process is, in the hope that that will be educational, helpful, a process that you can learn from, not necessarily to do it just the way I do it, but to demystify the work, to say, this is how you do it. It's messy. You do it in bits and pieces. You try things and then you rethink them. And by showing you how I do that here live, I'm hoping that that will help. It will be a way to give you just a path to try for yourself. It's not the best process. It's not the only process. It's not the right process. It's just the one that I've worked out in the 25-year career I had writing movies and TV here in Los Angeles, California. So, I am going to get back into it right now. Okay, so this morning I did a little bit of work on the outline because I thought about something. Let's get down to so far so good. All right, this is the spot in the outline. I leave this great big marker here so I can find where we left off. And the thing that I thought of this morning, I was picturing this scene that I knew I had to write, and a couple of lines came to me because I thought Madeline she's gonna decide that she's not going back to work right away. That is an impulsive and uncharacteristic decision, and so I thought she would say, like, yeah, I don't even know why. I don't know what's come over me. And he would joke, maybe it's George, maybe it's the spirit of George. Oh dear, having my camera problem again. He says the spirit of George, and she says, "Don't do that." So I'm just gonna. So I just made a note of that. But before we get to that, we got a couple of other things that we have to talk about here, and one of those is that we need Norman to explain what he is doing in this group. He's not. In writing the outline, I've known that. I'm just going to replug this and see if it helps. I know who Norman is. I know that he's doing this thing because he doesn't, not because he believes in web sleuthing, but because he is writing a book about it. We have not actually gotten that into the script. His character does not yet exist in that sense, and so got to get that in. So let's look at. Oh, the other thing I did was I started to make notes. Here, I'm going to show you this. Just started to make this note, these notes for things that I am suddenly aware I'm going to have to do in the rewrite. I don't want to do them now. I don't want to think about them now, but I wrote to myself, watch out for people dumping information. In other words, no matter how well I might describe the how well I might give them a chance to say fancy stuff and you can write the wrong thing. You can write the scene bad, the bad scene well, and there might be some cases where I have done that. So I made a note to myself. I thought, in some of these scenes, I think I have done a bad thing well enough to conceal its essential badness. And I said, I have to actually when I start the rewrite, go back through and make sure that these scenes of people talking about themselves are not just because they want to give information. There has to be a dramatic action to that information. In that moment, they need to be trying to get something out of that moment with the other person. So I made that note, and that meant I had to make this document, which I am calling the version 2 to do. That's just a list of things I'm going to have to do when I do the rewrite. So just like you to see the process includes, you become conscious of things you did not want to, things that you're going to have to fix. And if you're conscious of things that you're going to have to fix, make a note. Don't let it slip away. Don't avoid it. Don't procrastinate, but also don't jump to a different part of the process. All right. So here's the thing. I just had her set some cash and see, I just had her leave the scene, and I don't think it's not time yet. We still have to. We're going to still need, let's go back to the outline. We want to get to this, the fact that neither one of them wants to hunt the serial killer. And that will get to the idea that he is not. I'm going to move this. Okay. So we need to get to his talking about his book. You know what? We can do this with her leaving. Soon after, not spoon after. Soon after. Okay. So I'm not sure exactly how we're going to get to it. Okay. Madeline is hurrying out, looking at her phone to get a taxi. Look. I didn't mean to upset you. I didn't mean to upset you. I don't think he says sorry. He doesn't have to say sorry. It's kind of implied. An interesting day. I think something's up with YouTube. We have very few people watching and no one commenting, which is just a little unusual. This is less than usual. Wonder why. And also my camera isn't working, but I think that's unrelated. All right. I didn't mean to upset you. I'm not upset. You seem upset. I'm not upset. You seem upset. All right. So, uh, just to to thank you for the hi to future TV, the hi from the UK. Thank you. I am really glad that you're here and that I there is a slight feeling sometimes of speaking to a void, and so I appreciate that. Thank you. I hope we are all in the to future of TV. Um, ah, all right, good. Hi, Pika Pika. Okay, I was wrong. I was being self-conscious. All good. All right. Um, Madeline. Okay, this is the thing. No, by the way, I apologize if you hear the cat outside. He suddenly decided it was time to eat, even though it's not. Madeline, not is hurrying out. Madeline hurries out looking at her phone. Uh, oh, hello. Okay, I feel bad now. I feel like you were all quietly just keeping to yourselves for your own reasons, and there I was calling you out. Hello, Mr. Skulls. Very happy to have you here live. I'm working out a question. Don't worry about the process. I am here. I set this up, including the questions. It's all good. Um, Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. You didn't. I'm not. You seem. I'm not upset. You seem upset. Ex. My husband was murdered. Ex-husband from 1,000 years ago. For 1,000 years ago. Oh, what is my life? I'm acting this out, by the way, in case you're wondering what's going on. Um, uh, Sorry, I'm not upset. You seem upset. My husband was murdered. Ex-husband. I'm ex-upset. Inside herself. I'm ex-upset. 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 That's sort of a conceptual joke that doesn't really work. By the way, thank you, Mr. Skulls. That is exactly what one would want to hear under these circumstances. Thank you. Okay. Okay. This is probably overkill, but I love it, so I'm going to leave it. fairly crappy Miracle Mile. Okay, so okay. Let me check what Mr. Skulls has to say because I'm on a good roll. I can stop. Speaking of going back and fixing things. This is an excellent question, and it's a particularly interesting question for me because let me get this going here. Okay, because I can't imagine what it's like not to be able to do this. But the thing I do is I sort of put myself into their head. It's a very odd and not required method, and I think it's very much like method acting. The idea is that I tried, and this is why it's so important for me to understand each character's separate arc, because what I am doing when I am writing is actually kind of moving from point of view to point of view, from track to track, as I write each line. But at the same time, honestly, I'm also sort of standing back, writer-like, godlike, and saying, oh, this will be a cool shape to the scene. In other words, you start to watch, it's like playing a game. You start to say, oh, if I put this one here, if I put this line here, I'll be able to bop to that line and get to that one, which is going to be my end point. And I want to get to that cool line at the end. So there's a part of my mind that is operating like that, saying, okay, in this scene, I know I've got to get to X point or Y point because I've put them in the outline. Or because I suddenly see, I see a path to get to a good joke or to a good sort of pointy line. But at the same time, I begin to they get their voice. I believe that the voice comes more from their desires, from their frustrations, from their situation than from other things. You can always go back later and polish that. And also, you don't have to be overly rigorous about it. Like if somebody speaks out of character for a minute, no, it's not the end of the world. Most people probably won't even notice it. Also, most people do that. They have different modes. They have more than one way of speaking. So the answer is A, don't stress over it. There's no problem. If it drifts, you're going to get more drafts. That's so important to remember. You are not writing like I am in public. No one will ever know what it took to build the layers which create the final script. They will only see the final script. They won't understand that you may have gone way out of your way, or you may have written excess, or you may have had to stop and rewrite things. None of that matters. That's just part of the game. That's part of the work. So if the way that you're going to write is your characters sound like whatever they sound like, and then later you go through and say, okay, I'm going to go through this whole script and just pay attention to Madeline's lines. And I'm going to go through and just check them for consistency. Do that. Not a problem. Not a big deal. So that's it. Either that or, a live-in editor. that's another solution for the wealthy. Or I can say most of this sort of thing, it's a matter of practice and experience. The more practice you have, the more experience you have, the more these things become a matter of instinct. They become a matter of habit. I don't even think about it when I'm doing it. I'm only thinking about it because I'm talking to you as I do it. Ordinarily, I would be too focused on how to make this scene work, and I wouldn't think about how am I doing it. Once again, I use the analogy of walking. If you ever watched a little child learning to walk, they're like, I'm not sure I can handle staying on this one foot for the time it takes to get to the other foot. And they can't get their pace and their balance and all those things. And they're literally consciously thinking, I have to lift this foot and put it forward. After a while, you do it a bunch, you start to just feel it. And that is what happens with writing. That is what should happen with any form of creativity. You have to do it a lot. You have to do it over and over again, partly just so that you get so relaxed into the process that you don't have to worry about the process and you can worry about the content. And that's really when you become the kind of artist you're going to want to be. I hope that's helpful. That's it. The main thing I'd say is a lot like that question. If you think about it, this is a question about results. Making things consistent, that's the result you want. What you need to do is think about the process. Think about the fact that, okay, if you want that result, there's a lot of different ways to get there. And I'm suggesting from my experience that the best way to get there is not worry too much about it, because you can layer your polishing, layer your into steps. It's because, most scripts, I don't know, you go through like 10, 20 drafts of any script. Let's see. I'm sorry, but craft can't be compared to walking. There are keys that need to be given to you by either a mentor or God. I don't know. The truth is, I got it. Bye. I'm not sure that that's true. Let's suppose the only thing you knew was, because the reason that people learn to walk is partly because they see people walking. Kids see people walking, and adults are constantly trying to get them up. I'm not sure that kids would ordinarily walk then. I think they'd probably just crawl. They might never even think about walking unless they saw other people walking. And much like that, I don't think anyone would think of writing a screenplay if they hadn't watched a movie. So your real mentor or inspiration is wanting to do a thing that you enjoy consuming. If you are a writer and you read, then you're going to want to write books or whatever it is you read. If you see plays or you see movies, you want to make them. And actually, most screenwriters, the honest to God truth is they don't want to write screenplays. They want to make movies in their head. And unfortunately, the only way that you can make a movie in your head is writing it. So you do that. But truthfully, I will stand by my walking analogy because I think it is accurate. But in case it's too primitive, let's just say playing tennis, because that's also if you are going to want to play tennis and to become expert at it. Yes, you need teachers, you need advice, but to actually just do it, if you were to do it on a desert island, if you were to just say like, I want to write, but you never got any advice at all, you could work your way towards probably a pretty damn good script. if you just watched scripts and tried to learn how they did what they did by imitating what they did, you would probably be able to write a pretty great script. After all, it would take a lot of steps, a lot of trial and error, but it's like you wouldn't know format, but that's, anyway, that's my opinion on that. Okay, so you're welcome. And yes, lots of cat profile pics. I think they are feeling from my cat, who is one of our two cats who was meowing outside my office a second ago. Okay, so neither do I. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think so. That's a thing that is correct. But Norman wouldn't say neither do I. He's not British, for one thing. But for another thing, yeah, I mean, that's he's responding to her and speaking from himself, and he would say either do I. Either do I. Neither do I. Yeah, he's from the East Coast of America. He doesn't say that. But I get your point. Then in your little online club for, what are you in your little online club for? What are you doing? What are you what are you doing in your little online club? Trying to meet chicks? Would she say chicks? She might. She's close to my age. Trying to meet chicks. Chicks. I was trying to make you feel. Do you have any idea what kind of chicks Do you have any idea what kind of chicks you meet in a serial killer hunting community? That's a good line. All right. Do you have any idea what kind of chicks you meet? I'm so entirely regretting this whole thing. I'm writing a book. Online culture, if you want to call it that. Destruction of our culture by whatever it is happening online, whatever it is that's happening to us. Okay, good. About online culture, if you want to call it that. Destruction of our culture. destruction of our culture by whatever it is that's happening online. The abdication. Oh, by the way, if any of you get Hulu, abdication reminded me. There's a series called the Great. Hold on, hang on. Sorry, I'm in the wrong thing. The Great. Hulu. I'm just going to recommend this. If you want to see something fascinating, the thing about The Great is stylistically, it's dazzling. First of all, it's really, really smart. I'm so used to looking to that camera. The Great it's about Catherine the Great, and it's incredibly well written. Because, and I have to say, I spent a lot of time thinking, how did they do that? It's absurd, it's silly, it's over the top, and yet at the same time, it's incredibly smart and well crafted in every dramatic level, every dramatic way, so that it is fully functional in as a truly great historical drama with a lot of high, complex ideas and an amazing amount of empathy and dramatic action. But at the same time, it's done in this way over-the-top style that you shouldn't be able to get away with. I just have to recommend the subject of abdication came up on The Great that I started watching season 2 of last night, and it's just really good. So wanted to mention that. Hello, Moabe, is that right? Moab. Let me know how to pronounce that. But hi, good to see you. So glad you're here. Of responsibility, the abdication of responsibility. Crowdsourcing it. Online culture, if you want to talk about the destruction of our culture by the internet. Crowdsourcing. Slum. Okay, so I have embedded. I don't know. Yeah, he's self-conscious about that. To understand so-called communities. So I embedded myself. I did not have. So I embedded myself in this group. So I embedded myself in this group and some others. That might be interesting. Understand how the way these so-called communities operate. Yeah, this is a guy who talks in a lot of quotes. to myself. I only got involved here because I got involved here. Try to what's that word? Process what he's telling her. Not he's watching. Watches her. There we go. I only got involved here because I don't know. I like you. I didn't want to see you. I didn't want to see you get hurt. That's good. That's good. That is actually good. I'm going to try the camera again. Don't panic if I go black here. Just so annoyed at seeing myself that way. It's back. How is... Look at that. At least for a moment. I don't know what's going on. I suspect it's the battery in some way. Let's just see where we are. There we are. Hello. Hey. Okay. Back to work. Now, after that confession, she's rather pleased. She's rather touched. She's surprised. Let me just make sure the outline. Okay. I think this stuff is going to show up elsewise later. Okay, so we've got this out of the way. So far, so good. Boom. Okay, which brings us to her. That's sweet. Okay, so I'm picturing them. Just so you know what's going on right now, I am picturing them I'm picturing this scene. The way I'm writing, the way one writes is this one. And it's so interesting. The thing we were talking about before about the writing, it's like swimming or tennis or dancing or walking. I hold to that. that when I'm working, I'm working the elements that I know I have to work with, which are phrases of dialogue, exchanges of dialogue, in which he, like in this one, he's letting out a lot. So that was a speech. But now I need a back and forth. I need her reaction to it. But I'm thinking, because surprisingly, it was a good idea to get them out of the diner for this to the parking lot, which is right by a busy street. So it's noisy and stuff. weekday. That's sweet. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's sweet. I'm sorry that I thought the worst of you. Worst of you. That's not a great phrase, but for the moment I'm going to leave it. I feel like my entire life I feel like I was just I feel like I've been pushed out my own life. Like my life is an airplane, and I was doing fine. I was doing fine riding in it. All of a sudden, somebody opened the door, and I feel like pushed out of my own life, like when I was an airplane. A door popped open, and boom. A door popped open, and boom, whoosh. Just that's cool. That's cool. I feel like I've been pushed out of my own life. My life is an airplane, and I was doing fine riding, just reading my magazine. I was doing fine. I was safe. I was strapped in. Seatbelt sign on. They didn't even, I was doing fine. I was safe. They didn't even have the fasten seatbelt sign on. They didn't even light up. They didn't even have the fasten seatbelt sign on. I'm not thrilled with fasten seatbelt sign on. Seatbelt sign on is hard to say. They didn't even have the fasten seatbelt sign on. Yeah, might be able to get over there. And then all of a sudden, a door opens up, popped open, and oh, she can't even say what she is. Get back to it. Your life. It's waiting for you. It's waiting for you, right? I can't. I probably will end up adding, my instinct is that I'm going to want to add stage directions here to give a mental picture of where this long dialogue is happening. But at the moment, I was just riding on the interaction of the characters. Can't. It just seems. I can't. It just seems. Like I don't believe in it. seems like I won't believe in it. I won't believe in it anymore. Oh, damn. Wait a second. You have a margarita? That's not fair. I want one. I do not drink or partake in anything intoxicating while I write, because I'll just stop writing. that's the truth. It won't loosen anything up. I mean, I'm pretty loose. The writing process itself is actually fairly intoxicating to me at this point, because I am comfortable with it. Um, but uh, but damn, that sounds nice. Okay. Thank you, Javier. uh, how the hell do you? Okay, I'm getting really into these images, but I'm gonna go with it. I'm just gonna keep. It's fun. Like, seems like I won't believe it. You get on a plane, and you get on a plane, when you strap yourself into a chair inside a metal tube, and then this is not actually accurate. The truth is, a plane will fly whether you believe in it or not. Oh, that's okay. Because I was going to say, it's just like, she's sort of like, you can only do that because you believe in it. If I went back to work now, I think I might start screaming hysterically. Well, I'll tell you this. I am really enjoying them letting it all out here. I do not believe that this scene can go like this as long as this, but I'm not going to stop this. When you're working on your first draft, don't stop yourself if you get into some magical place where people are making images and sense. Cool. Fatherhood. Thank you so much. That's great to know. I hope it's great for you. I hope that it, I mean, I managed to have a 25-year professional career doing it this way. So obviously this is not done. This is just getting the shapes on the canvas, getting the rough pile of clay into the sculpture. All right. What are you going to do? You want to hang out? That's good. You want to hang out some more? That's so funny. I love that. And it's like, after all these images, like, I don't know, you want to hang out some more? That's perfect. That's just, I like that. Okay, some of this stuff we're not going to get here. But this is okay. This is stuff I'm gonna put it up here. I'm not gonna delete it because this is not in the script yet. But you know what? It doesn't belong here yet. She's gonna get to some of this stuff in later episodes. That's what's going on. That's why it was too much right now. What she just said. This is great. This is where she is right now. She's not at that other place yet. That was just my theoretical information. This is where she is, and I love this. This is cool. Okay, so right. I am not sure. I think this. Okay, so that's. Um, okay, this is here because we have to figure out how this happens. See, Xena shows up. She's not going to show up in the parking lot of the diner, so she's going to be back at the house. So this is just what we just did, putting it up here. Boom, bang, zoom. That was great. That was great. We wrote a fun scene. I wrote it, actually. Um, I'm going to take credit for that. Cool. I hope you guys have had as much fun as I did. This was a good one. That was a good scene. So I know about it, and this is the thing you have to watch out for. This is the debilitating thing. I recognize I have gotten enough notes and heard enough criticism and know enough rules to know where that scene that I just wrote is breaking the rules or not fitting the formula. And so I can hear the notes already. I know people are going to say this or that about it. But especially this early on, you can't worry about that. You have to just get your feel for it. And sometimes you're like, it's cool sometimes when a scene breaks the rules, when people talk more than they should. Maybe that's going to be the style of this script. Maybe it's going to be like David Milch, one of my favorite writers. I'm just going to mention that. This guy, David Milch, David Milch is a notoriously poetic and unrealistic writer, but you should check out, if you have not watched the first couple seasons of NYPD Blue or all of Deadwood, except the movie at the end. They are extraordinary writing, and so maybe, or like Aaron Sorkin, maybe this script is going to be a little talky, a little poetry-ish, a little stagey. That's cool. Everything has its own style. And I feel like I stumbled into a bit of this style that felt right. That felt like I was willing to bet on it. Will it win over producers and studios? Well, we'll never know about that. But that's what I would gamble on. I would say, hey, this is my style for this. And I'm going to see who likes it. All right. That is it. Yay! I'm glad. We were going to leave on this note because that's great. You all have a great weekend, and especially if you are so inspired, go write something.